Bradford, you ready?
Yep.
Brad and I wrote a song, an intro song, an intro jingle. You guys ready? Welcome to Worship Tutorials. Welcome to Worship Tutorials. You can say anything you want to in the chat, and we have no control. But watch your mouth or we'll ban you. Yes! Welcome to Worship Tutorials Live. You're hanging out with Brian.
Bradford.
And
I was
Brad.
trying to resolve it and I lost what was happening.
Okay.
Happy day after Easter.
Happy Monday after Easter, everybody.
He's still risen.
He is risen indeed.
Still risen.
Well, yes. He rose many, many thousands of years ago.
Right.
But, yesterday we celebrated it. Mm-hmm. All right.
And I'm drinking coffee from 11 a.m.
We've already got comments that are hidden for review. Hide. So, thankfully YouTube is going to...
Man, dude.
YouTube is going to moderate a little bit.
If you're still watching... scoreboard. Look at the number of subscribers and you want to call us that? That's okay.
Oh, they can't. The good people can't see it because it was already hidden.
Right, but if the guy who commented that is still
watching. Anyway, yes. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about the fact that it's Monday after Easter.
And you should have already had Christmas planned.
You should have your Christmas plan done. No.
We
don't have our Christmas plan
It was just
done.
clickbait.
But we are going to talk about the importance of planning. Especially planning for big Sundays like Christmas and Easter.
But planning for every Sunday is important.
Yes, it is. So let us know two things in the comments. One, how well can you hear us? I can see how well you can see us. It looks okay.
Yeah.
My live equipment, live setup stuff, Bradford can attest.
It's been a journey.
It works less than half the time. So who knows what it sounds like.
But you figured out a reason why it may have been last time, right?
I don't even know.
No? I don't understand enough to ask the right question.
So there is a piece of equipment that I know that I could get that would make it work. It's called the Blackmagic ATEM television production switcher.
And the Blackmagic is just a name, all right?
It's the name of the company.
The name of the company.
We're not going to be practicing the black arts of witchcraft or whatever.
We get questions like that.
Tom Binding says the sound is quality. Hey, something else cool about live YouTube stuff?
Brian, your quality.
So are you, Bradford.
Thanks.
And so are all of you.
I was fishing.
Sound quality is A+. Thank you, guys. One thing cool about YouTube, I just saw this since I haven't gone live on the channel in a while.
We haven't been able to.
And I just noticed that YouTube said they're going to let the chat stay. So if you watch this video and it's not live, if you're watching this on Tuesday, for example. Tim, are you trying to get yourself... YouTube might not let that Satan comment come through. I think Tim Hereabout was replying to...
Tim,
it's a little bit delayed.
Tim is a fellow Kemperer.
That's right. I think he was talking about the Black Magic gear. No, Black Magic is sorcery, and their gear is expensive. Actually, Matthew, Black Magic's gear is really cheap for what it is. If you look at the stuff that it competes with, it's way more expensive.
Like the Sony Red.
Yes. No, it's not Red. Red is their... That was on purpose, wasn't it?
No, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, Red is their own company.
Red is their own... Oh, yeah. I thought Sony made it.
No.
I play guitar.
Red makes cameras that are real expensive. But Blackmagic gear might seem expensive if you look at it, but if you look at what it compares with, it's way cheaper. It works real well. So, yes. So today we're going to talk about planning and the importance of it. And let's just, so that was the first thing I wanted you to tell me. How does it sound? Second thing is, how did Easter go at your churches? We'll talk about how it went at our church.
Somebody said they lost power right before it started.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Did that really happen? Tell us what happened. Did you just do an acoustic, like everybody were going to sing real loud in the dark, or what? Wait, I thought YouTube was Red.
Kyle
Jackson's commenting on Red. Red is also a camera maker. It's actually the guy who started Oakley, started Red.
The camera? So the guy who started Sunglass Company started
Oakley.
a camera company.
Because
he must be smart.
He wanted like Hollywood cinema cameras for cheap. They are cheap compared to like
Real.
If you're gonna buy like a Panavision camera, you really can't.
Isn't that what they
have to
shot
rent
like
them.
the old school movies on? Is Panavision?
Yeah, Panavision's a lot of Hollywood stuff. Anyway, let's go back on track. How did Easter go at your church? Let us know in the comments. I'll try and comment. Hey, did you know that if you have a question that you really want us to pay attention to, you can say like at worship tutorials when you're typing it, like you would on Facebook or
anytime you tag somebody.
Instagram. It'll pop up. It'll show us it'll show red and it'll say, "Hey, this person mentioned you." So if you really have a question,
well, now
everybody's
going to
just going to do it, and it's just going to be everything.
But you could if you attach your question to a $1 bill.
You can also do the super chat where you would give us a tip, and we would appreciate that very much.
Yes.
So
Fuller, this is the greatest thing I've ever learned from him.
Mm-hmm.
He said when it comes to song requests at church, this was the greatest thing he ever did to stop song requests, but the greatest thing he ever did to encourage them.
Yeah.
If you have a song request,
write that thing
take it out a $100 bill and write your song request on the $100 bill. Just leave it on the front of the stage, and they'll know who it's supposed to get to.
Yeah.
And you know what? I said that, and I stopped getting song requests.
Yes.
But I got no $100 bill.
Tim is the first person that employed the mention thing that we just asked about.
That's because he's from KPW, and those guys rule. Shout out to our KPW homies.
Kemper profiling amplifier.
No, that's a secret.
Tim says
They don't
this.
need to know.
Here's the thing I was thinking. Do you experience an uptick in engagement in worship? I'm assuming you mean at Easter. If so, are you okay with that? Or do you feel that's all how it always should be? That brings up a really interesting point. Mm-hmm. Here's a statistic. Maybe Bradford, you can help me remember this. There's data that shows that because Christmas and Easter are going to be your big attendance Sundays.
Creasters.
Yes, your
CEOs.
Your C&Es, right?
CEOs. Christmas, Easter only. Which we're glad they're there.
Our pastor mentioned C&E people by name. He's like, maybe you're a C&E person. You just show up at Christmas and Easter. That's okay. We're glad you're here. Anyway, you will see an uptick in both attendance and engagement, I believe, at least we always have, at those services. But statistics will tell you that if your church keeps doing what it's doing, you will realize the Christmas Easter numbers in your regular attendance within 2 years, something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the number, but I remember what you're talking about.
So, for example, if your church regularly has 100 people and you do a bunch of outreach stuff and you get 200 people show up at Easter, statistics would tell you.
Increase.
Yeah, statistics would tell you that in 2 years you probably see about 200 people per service.
If you keep doing what you're doing.
If you keep doing whatever it is that you did to get 200 people there on Easter. Yeah. And I would guess that would work for engagement as well.
Yeah.
So if you see twice as much engagement on a Christmas service as you do on a regular service, maybe that means in a year or two you can see that kind of engagement every week.
Yeah.
Tim's question was, do you have a problem with that? I don't think so.
No. I got an answer.
Go for it.
People imitate what you celebrate. All right, that's something we say around at New Hope a lot.
Yes, it is.
But the thing is as a leader, whether it's worship leader or campus pastor or head pastor or whatever, celebrating something like that, and that's easy. That's just as much as saying like on the next Sunday, or maybe saying at the end of Easter Sunday, or maybe through a video in the week, or however you want to communicate with people. Just mentioning that, being like, man, you guys were so engaged and dialed in worship. We're glad you came, and you just support our team by doing that. Because, I mean, real talk, like worship's not about engagement, right? Now we want it to be engaging, but for us, I don't measure success on a Sunday based on how many hands are up. That's a factor. I look at it and be like, man, everybody raised their hands. That must have been awesome. But like the lack of hands doesn't mean engagement either. But if
lack
you
of engagement, yeah.
Right. But if something like that happens, I mean, like the worship team needs to be encouraged too. So it's not an earthly thing to draw attention to the fact that people were engaged, and you want to tell them like that was awesome. Come ready for that again next week, this week, whatever. I think if you just draw attention to it, maybe someone's gonna see that. Because I remember as a kid going to like camp, and camp was always the best time of worship. It's always the best time of like
Yeah.
always took so many notes and like I
I'm
loved
right
it.
with you.
But then you go back to your normal daily life and like you just don't care as much for
Come
whatever
off of that
reason.
high. Yeah.
And like every time it would get mentioned at camp, like let's not let this die here. And I thought they said it enough that it started sticking with me. And I did a camp about a month and a half ago, and I said the same thing. You know, hey, let's not let this die here on this mountain. We were literally on a mountain, so you know, you want to die on the mountain. But I think it's important. Like if you bring it up and you draw attention to it, but at the same time, it goes back into the worship leader's court.
Yeah.
Don't slack because it's not Easter or Christmas.
Yes.
Live every week like it's Easter and Christmas. Don't give your people something to look forward to on those 2 days that the rest of the year is just not as strong. Find what made that Sunday so great and try to find a way to make it sustainable each Sunday.
Yes.
So
That question and answer deserves a movie score. Like, we're going to go Star Wars. You ready?
okay. So I was thinking.
I can't play too much, though, because YouTube will tag it. And whoa.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, if you flub it like that, they won't tag it.
No, I messed it up. Okay, there was another question where we got tagged up a little ways. Andrew Lionheart. Did we get it right? Who knows? Andrew says this. Irrelevant question. Well, it's relevant to worship because I already read it. Trying to implement some stage lighting into a small church with an older congregation. And they don't want the worship service to become a production. Advice. Do you have any advice, Bradford? I do.
I like to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I think your lighting should always be appropriate to the venue you're in. So,
Yeah.
you know, we have
That's the easy
we have
answer.
multiple campuses, and some of our campuses will have a large room,
And some of them meet in a gym.
and some of them Brad meets in a gym. Some of them are a much smaller, more intimate environment, and we do a lot more lighting theatrics, if you want to call it that, in our larger environments than in our smaller ones. So it has to fit your environment and your vision for your church. Mm-hmm. If you do a little bit of lighting poorly, I think it looks bad, and you would be better off with no lighting. But if you did some accent lighting, just think about it like what you would like in your house. Like, I like nice lighting in my house.
Yeah.
You know, if you did some accent lighting that accentuated
Nice lighting
what it
in
is
here.
that, yeah. See, I kind of... Yeah.
It's really bright in here because you all need to be able to see us,
Yeah.
which carries over to
I
worship.
can also make the light in here any color I want to.
Can you do that on the apps? Do you think they can tell?
Ooh.
Brian,
Hold on.
So Brian has this on an app so he can set the lighting for videos.
So we're talking about a lighting. I need haze in this room.
No, you don't. See, that's an example of something that's not necessary.
Would be cool.
So lighting is good because it provides, like, people. This isn't about shame, and this is. See, look at that.
Can you tell that it changed? Well, so the thing
Feels
is,
good in here.
there's a light.
I like this.
Big lights. There are
Yeah.
3 big lights that I can't change what they look like, but then
They're
I can
supposed to replicate
change.
the sun.
I can change the lights. I have the Philips Hue system.
You got
can
6 of
lights.
them in here. Yep.
Yeah, so I can make it orange, for example.
Ooh.
They'll probably be able to see this.
Yeah, they can see.
Yeah, you can totally see
see a little bit. It's not as drastic as it is in this room. I
No, because if you had here's
There you
blue greenish. So if we had if we didn't have the big lights on, you could really tell a difference. I'm gonna make it just straight up like red or orange. Here's orange. Yeah, you can really see that that's orange. Yeah.
So
Anyway, I'm gonna get out of this.
make it appropriate.
This is
You
no,
don't.
this
Some
is
people
normal.
don't want to be seen. Like it is a little weird when all the lights are bright and you're
Yeah.
trying to worship. And it's not like you feel worried about who's around you, but
Mm-hmm.
there's something about dimming the lights and make it a little darker and more appropriate, just to make it more of a personal worship time, even though you're in a corporate setting. So
Yeah, and if your congregation is mostly older, more traditional, you don't want to do something that's going to like completely take them out of an element of worship. Like if they're just going to be, if you're going to do something that regardless of who's in your congregation, that's going to make people be like, what is this? I hate it. I don't know. It's probably not something that you would want to do.
yeah.
Unless it's very specifically vision from your pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our pastor made a point. Like we have moving lights, we have haze, we have lots of different stuff. And our pastor at one point, he's like, "Hey, I love the lights, but let's cut it back a little bit. Like let's scale down a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was just going off of what he was feeling, and we did. And to be honest, I at first I was like, oh wow, I said I love our lights. But then after a while, I realized that I forgot he had said that, because it still adds something. But you want to add to that moment. What's going to make that moment more impactful? Not what's going to make that moment awesome and cool. Like, what's going to make it more impactful? Like, if you're in the middle of like a nice solo section during like Do It Again before it starts building, you don't want all the lights bright. The lights play as much of a factor in enhancing the music as drums or click tracks do. Like, it's all supposed to be cohesive. If one sticks out more than the other, maybe something needs to be adjusted.
Right. I'm going to give that a...
That was beautiful.
That gets a Top Gun. All right.
Whoa. AJ, major props. He said he spots some raw denim. That's what I'm talking about, my man. That's what I'm talking about.
I got this at Target.
You could tell because of this, right? Because of this.
Okay.
Yep. These are some rogue territories.
Okay, so Adam asks a really good question. Adam Jones says this. It seems like no matter how much you rehearse, this is absolutely true, by the way, what you're getting ready to say, mistakes happen, regardless of how much you rehearse. Mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect. Did you experience any interesting mistakes or hiccups for your Easter services? And how did you handle it?
I can't hit that. Won't stay up.
I made a mistake. I made one mistake that sticks out in my mind. We had this big opener. This is a video I want to make, by the way. We had this opening element that we did that was like, we didn't have a Good Friday service. Usually we do. We didn't this year.
We tried something different. That's another video. Talking about mixing it up. But anyways.
We incorporated the element of the cross and the death of Christ and the resurrection all into one service. So actually all into one song.
Like one
element.
8-minute, 7-minute moment.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
So it started off really like kind of eerie, ambient. There was voiceover from the perspective of the disciples. Like, we followed this guy. We thought he was the savior of the world. We thought he was going to deliver us from Roman oppression. That's probably what they thought.
Yeah.
And then he died. So now what? And so part of it was there were lyrics from the song Forever. The moon and stars they wept, the morning sun was dead, the savior of the world was fallen. The next lyric was supposed to be one final breath he gave. As heaven looked away, the Son of God was laid in darkness. That's how it went. But I didn't sing that. I sang the next part of the first verse. The moon and stars wept. Whatever it is. I sang the wrong words. So what I sang didn't match what was on the screen. And it was like this theatrical opener that we did. So I screwed up. It was in service number 2 out of 5.
Oof.
We did 5.
7 a.m.?
Yeah. We did 5 services. One on Friday. At my campus, we did 1 on Friday night, 4 on Sunday. And so it was service number 2. But what did I do? In that kind of a situation, I carried on. I started singing the wrong thing, and I just kept singing it with confidence. I'm sure people were confused, like, is he supposed to be singing what he's singing? Why is the words different? Are they supposed to be different?
They were so focused on Jesus, they didn't even notice.
I hope so. It was also 7 a.m. The room wasn't, like, particularly full for that service, but anyway.
7 a.m. is early.
So,
for church?
Yeah, it's early. So, if you mess up or somebody messes up, I think the biggest thing is not to draw attention to it.
Yeah, don't make the face.
Yeah, don't make a face. Or if you're a worship leader or someone in the band, don't like look at the person who did it.
Yeah, don't do that.
That draws attention to it.
Should we tell them about Insight?
What happened at Insight?
Weren't you there?
Problem. Well, was it, one year I went to Mexico. I went to a beach for Insight.
It was this past year. The last one. Death was arrested.
What happened? For that?
So
I was there at Insight.
Okay, so maybe it was the year before. So I'm not trying to dog our guy who this was the reason. I'm not trying to dog the guy who caused this to happen. This has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
We've moved on, but it was quite humorous. This is a good example of
I have no idea
trying to cover
about.
this up, but we didn't do it quite well enough.
Okay.
So I'm not. If you do studio stuff, you know about sample rate. right?
Yeah.
So sample rates are important because the higher the sample rate, the crisper and clearer the audio sounds, right? Which makes sense, I guess. But when you're doing click tracks, you don't need them to be super high. We run ours at like 48K.
44.1.
And well,
yeah, 40.
Fuller at the main campus uses a different interface, so it has to be 48. But normally it's 44.1. So if you try to convert them and you don't do it right, it changes the pitch by
it does.
micro steps. Micro
I
steps.
think I remember this.
So we did Death Was Arrested, and one of the guys was trying to do us a favor and put in a new click session for us.
Yeah.
And he adjusted it, and he'll tell you he's not even sure what happened, and like he quadruple checked it. Bryce, if you're watching this is not what this is about. This is about how we reacted. So it starts real quiet.
It's hazy.
And we dropped everything out. So Fuller starts it on acoustic. And there's a little bit of electric guitars.
Yeah.
And so he's doing the first verse, and so the first chorus comes in. Oh, your grace so free, right? And all of the band swells in, and we all notice we're like off bad, and like all of us are thinking we started it like a half step off or something.
Yeah.
So 3 guitarists across the front of the stage are playing with confidence because it's what you do, and then we hear that we're all like. And we all go down, volume pedal goes back, and we all start tuning immediately. All 3 electric guitarists do it. And we tune,
everything stopped.
I go back in and try to swell in again, and it's doing it again.
I must not have been there.
You must not have been there because Fuller was playing acoustic. So
yeah,
I think this was 2 years ago.
I'm the token acoustic player when we all get together.
2016 is when this happened, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, it seems like it was like not that long ago. One of the guys just took his electric off and was like, I quit. And then I found out, I didn't know what had happened, but I found out that it was like in between a B and a B flat.
Ooh.
And like, so it was like a quarter step or something. And so all of us on stage just like looked real confused. It was weird, man. So the production team was trying to...
all right, Mr. Guy, you're getting blocked.
Wow. What did he say?
I'm not going to repeat what he said.
Oh, my word. Man, what are you doing?
YouTube is on it, though. YouTube didn't let any of those comments come through.
Man, that's killer.
You guys don't want to know what this guy said.
Rude.
Okay.
Anyways, front of house people, it's important that you pay attention to your band and vice versa because they realized it wasn't us. Like, we were all fine.
Yeah.
And they cut the tracks in the house, and we had to listen to them, which made it hard to play. But we kept going.
Yeah.
It was an interesting moment for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was on the beach in Mexico.
That's right.
Okay, so let's...
Sorry, that was a long story, but it was hilarious.
Let's talk about planning. So, how important is it to plan? So, we talked a little bit about what we did. That whole opening element, we created a custom-made video for it, a voiceover. Like, we made a click track, like, backing track session for it that went with it. We did a lot of production work on this.
Which made Thursday's night's rehearsal go a lot easier.
It was smooth.
It made it look really epic, by the way. And we didn't actually have to do much on our end once we got it set for rehearsal.
Yeah. So, but the whole point of it is to say Christmas and Easter, we have 3 big weekends in our church every year. Christmas, Easter, and we have what's called a Vision Day that we hold on the anniversary of our church when it was started. It's in January.
Yep. January 27th is the birthday, and we try to get as close as we can.
And so it's like a huge party. We're very celebratory, but our pastor preaches a message about vision of what God is speaking into his life about where our church is going. So those are our big 3 Sundays, and we do huge outreach events for all of them. And we always see massive spikes in attendance and engagement on those weekends. And so it's really important. And Christmas and Easter, probably for you at your church, are the largest attended weekends that you're going to have. Because there are people who go to church twice a year, and those 2 times are the times they go. So it's really important that you... How did YouTube miss that one? I don't know. Man, what is the deal with this on...
Sorry, everybody.
YouTube.
This is new. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that they know that now the chat will stay up.
Oh, no.
So, these big things we do just to kind of do something different.
Yeah.
A phrase that I heard when I was going to school says that as spontaneity goes down, apathy goes up.
Yeah.
So in other words, if everybody knows you do high energy song, welcome, handshake, sit down, announcements, offering song, message, song, dismissal, whatever order you want to do, whatever is your recipe, that can lead to people disengaging even though they're there.
Yeah.
And so mixing it up, doing stuff differently, starting maybe with a slower song, for example, or maybe not doing a song after the teaching. I love that North Point does that. I always want to do that, but that's not preferred at our church. That's okay. I'd like to try it. Yeah. But mixing it up keeps people on their toes, and they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's important. It's our job to lead people to worship, not bore them to death. Why would we take the most amazing, incredible news and bore people with it?
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. So we mix it up.
Yeah. And, those weekends, you're going to see lots of life change. So we had, how many people across all of our campuses accepted Christ? I know just in just at my campus, over 60 people raised their hand to accept Christ as their Savior for the first time.
Man, you may need to kick that guy
hidden.
out.
That's already hidden.
Well, there's another one. You may need to kick that guy out. Can you do that? It's the same person.
It's not the same person because I keep hiding him. Apologize for all the stupid comments that are coming in. I don't know what's going on. There must be... it's probably like just bots or something.
Yeah.
It's probably not actually real people. I don't know what it is. But anyway. So those are weekends where you're going to see huge life change too. The Holy Spirit, moves in people's lives and works in people's lives. So it's really important for you. Sorry, we're trying to talk, but moderating comments all at the same time.
Yeah. Here, I'll do that while you talk, and we'll switch over.
All right. How about it? So it's really important for you to put a lot of thought and energy and effort into those services, and it is a lot of work. It was a ton of work.
Yeah.
I was so tired yesterday. My alarm clock on Sunday went off at 3:30 in the morning. For me to get to my campus at 5 a.m.
You know what's funny about that? If you think about it,
yeah,
that means it's only midnight on the West Coast.
I know.
And for me, that's just really funny. It's like I'm getting up when people on the West Coast are. It's not out of reach to say they're still awake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Christmas is probably the next big time service, in the life of the church that you're going to have. So I would just encourage you, Brad and I would encourage you to really spend some time planning, make that service special. Make it, in whatever way fits the culture of your church best. Make it special. Make it something that people will be blessed by, where create an atmosphere where the Holy Spirit can move in a powerful way. And then do a lot to outreach for it. I'll tell you, let's tell them what we did for outreach for Easter. With the gift cards.
Yeah, that was pretty that was cool.
Brad will tell you what we did.
So we did something kind of cool. We decided to put our money where our mouth is.
Yep.
And the church funded on the front end like thousands of $10 gift cards.
Yeah.
Like a couple thousand.
Yeah.
So do the math. And the church went ahead and did that and bought these. We had like a $10 Food Line gift card, I think a $10 Walmart gift card, a $10 like Shell gas station gift card, stuff like that. And we put them on Easter invite cards. And so what we did was, as a church, we handed them out to our members and people who attend.
Every single person
that week and the week after for 2 weeks, they could pick them up.
Got gift cards.
And we encouraged them. The whole theme was light in the darkness for Christmas.
Yeah.
We encourage people to give them this card, which is it was attached to an invite card.
Yeah.
With your campus, like the map to your campus. Because we have a handful of campuses.
Yep.
And we encourage people to go into your neighborhood and just do it randomly, somehow, somewhere. Like just at the Food Line, just give someone the Food Line card at the Food Line, or at the Shell gas station, give somebody the Shell card, whatever. And then we said, but here's the flip side. After we do that, we're going to give you blank invite cards, and we want to encourage you to do the same thing.
To go buy a
gift card. And some people just put cash on there, which is totally cool too. Here's lunch on me. But the whole point was we wanted to have people be the church, not just go to church. And I know it seems small, $10, for me, like that doesn't cover a good chunk of my wife and I's grocery bill.
Yeah.
But like, even though we work for a church, and if some other church came and gave it to me, like I'd be extremely encouraged, extremely blessed. And so we did something like that. It was really cool, real simple. we have a lot of different stuff going on in our church. So this year we just try to do something different. We normally do big events, and those are great. Like we invite the community to come to our church, or we go somewhere and hold an event in the community, whatever. But to be able to hold an event, something like this, it was kind of like ongoing. It was a perpetual thing for the 3-4 weeks leading up to Easter. Yeah. It was like, just give them out, just hand them out. And my campus specifically, we saw 30 some odd, that we know of, 30 some odd new people. And we normally have about 150 people. So for us to have 230 people for Easter, like, that was awesome. So
yeah,
very cool.
That was effective. So
it was, yeah. Well, no, I didn't say just like that. Man, this is kind of nuts.
Stupid comments. Yeah.
If you guys don't, I mean, we're trying to pay attention, but if you guys just block or report somebody that you see, that'd be helpful too. We're sorry.
Yeah, I think you can report comments. I think most of them are not getting through. But man, what a pain.
I'm seeing some, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing them on like the straightforward thing. But
anyway, yeah. So it's almost 5:00. This is going to be a shorter live session than
this
usual.
time around.
You want to play a song? Let's play a song.
We can.
What do you want to play? I've never seen this many like spam comments before now. What are the songs we did at Easter?
You know what? Somebody was asking about that, so that will answer the question. We can think. We did Resurrecting.
Resurrecting by Israel Houghton?
No. Elevation.
Oh, no.
We did Risen by Israel. Yeah, that was fun. You know, Risen, He's a risen. I'm doing it higher. I'm doing it in E.
He's risen.
Yes. We did Great Are You, Lord?
Yep.
And Resurrecting.
Yes.
We did a little bit of Old Rugged Cross, and then the opener was like Forever and Oh Praise the Name, and then back into Forever. It was cool.
Yeah. What do you want to play? What's the song? What do you want to hear us play? Death Was Arrested. I don't remember Death Was Arrested.
Well, joke's on you, butthole, because he doesn't have a daughter.
Well, don't say that. Nobody can see it.
What, do you hit that?
Yeah. That comment already got hidden. Bradford's referring to a user that made a comment that you didn't see. That was... These things are particularly nasty. Yeah. And they're the same comments and they come from different users, which makes me think it's like an automated thing. YouTube needs to get on that. Come on, Google. Come on, YouTube. Good Father?
Somebody said, Grateful.
Reckless Love. Let's do Reckless Love.
Someone did say Who You Say I Am.
What key do we do Reckless Love in?
E. We've already done Reckless Love in the live show.
Have we?
You know Who You Say I Am well enough? I don't.
No, I don't. I just covered it, but I can't remember it.
What, you doing Reckless Love?
Yeah. Is this it? I don't remember how it goes. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind. don't deserve it till you give yourself away. All the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Yes. Okay. We gotta hide another user. Alright, we're hiding them all. Hiding you too. Let's see. Where did it go? Where did it go? The message that I hid somebody is covering up the next person I need to hide. Oh, nope. He was already hidden. Okay. That's reckless love. Bradford, the way you were strumming was like totally throwing my brain.
I was trying to do quadtuplets over it.
I know.
You're doing that.
Bradford's just too good for me to handle over here. I can't comprehend.
So I was doing. Oh, I can't even do it.
Yes.
I was doing quadtuplets over here. 6/8.
Is that because the song is in 4/4 time?
Oh. Time to end this live stream.
No. That song is in 6/8 time.
Yes, it
If
is.
somebody tells you otherwise, gently correct them in love that it's in 6/8 time. It's not in 4/4 time.
Ooh, lordy.
Rajiv tagged us, says, why don't you do contemporary gospel songs? Well, Rajiv,
We'd have to be able to do it to begin with.
There's a barrier of what's the word I'm looking for?
Skill?
Skill, thank you. Yeah, those are not easy songs to do. I assume you mean like Israel Houghton. Israel Houghton's not even really. I mean, Israel's kind of like crossover gospel, and his stuff is hard enough as it is. So, yeah, I just you got to stick to your strengths. Okay. Why don't we ever play Taylor's?
Because they're inferior to Martin's.
Oh boy,
I've never played a Taylor. I'll take it back. I've played a couple Taylors I like, but they're way more expensive.
I played one that I liked yesterday at church. So I didn't play
Chad
this
is
guitar
nice.
at church because I played electric guitar at church, but I did play acoustic on one song, and the acoustic player actually sang it, and so I played his acoustic during that song, and he has a Taylor 814.
A nice one.
He's got a Taylor 814, and that thing is nice. It might even be a 9. It's either an 8 or a 914. It's nice. I really like that guitar, but I like Martin guitars better. So does Brad.
I like the sound. They got this more warm.
That question,
not dull, but yeah.
Well, they're just bigger sound. Well, I don't know, not necessarily bigger. It depends on the tailor, too. By the way.
Yes.
Are you hiding somebody else?
They're saying the same thing.
Pizza Planet, you're going away. Bye bye.
What kind of life do you have that you just want to sit here and start spamming us on multiple different accounts?
Where they want people to say their name and talk about them. That's what.
Well, you just did that. You just said his name.
I won't elevate them to that level again. All right. So yeah, we just like Taylor's, we like Martin's. But if you like Taylor guitars, then awesome, play them. Smile, play them with a smile on your face.
Man, more Planet Shakers. I can't get down with their songs.
You don't like their stuff as much?
It's just not for me.
They're really good for high energy stuff.
It's been a while since I've heard a Planet Shaker song that I really, really love.
I haven't listened to much of their latest material either. Tom Binding says, do I use effects pedals on my acoustic? Yes, actually, I run my acoustic through the Helix, and at worsttutorials.com, on the Helix page, there is a Helix acoustic patch, and that is what I use on my acoustic. But basically, compression, a little EQ, a little reverb, some delay if you want it. Alex says that they love the Who I Say I Am tutorial. Thank you, Alex. Have I led it at my church? We have not done that song yet. No. I don't know that we're gonna.
Hard to say.
I don't know that we're going to add it in. Maybe. So no, I haven't. Anyway. All right, I think we probably better wrap it up. We're getting to the point where we're just watching comments come by and trying to answer as we get.
Hey, lots of good stuff. Hey, a little plug. If you're asking questions about gear and you're not following our new Instagram page, WT Tone, you need to do it.
On Instagram,
we're still gathering content to put on there, but really it's become like we get messages often about gear, and that's an easier way because Brian and I both can see it. We both can chime in, or one of us will answer when we can, and but we're posting stuff on there. We're doing it more and more. So a lot of the gear questions, if you go there, you'll have our ear. And we'll answer what we can. I mean, we do have jobs aside from answering questions on Instagram, so give us some slack. But we created it because we were talking about the fact that we know that a lot of people want to talk about gear or got questions. Yeah. And between the two of us, we've tried a lot of stuff. The cheap stuff, the really, really high-end stuff, the unnecessary stuff, and everything in between. So there's that. Everything about I mentioned a podcast to Brian. I actually mentioned what if we did this and like translated it to audio.
Oh yeah. Did somebody ask about a podcast?
Someone asked. Yeah, we talked about it one time, but we kind of
blocking.
We didn't really revisit that. But
yeah.
We brought up planning for Christmas. We haven't said anything since then. That's a good point. It was more just to get you to click, and it was more of a joke.
No, well, we did say that you should plan. Well, the whole point was just to
ahead of time. You should
do it. Don't wait till like 2 weeks ahead. Not even 2 weeks. Yeah. Like plan it a month or two ahead of time.
We had put a lot of Easter ideas floating out about 2 months ahead of time.
Yeah, at least in January.
Yeah, actually, we talked about. I remember us talking about the fact that Easter was less than 90 days away, and so we were like, let's start talking. And it's important, and we kept revisiting it because it kept getting better and kept getting better. Mm-hmm. We would revisit it almost every week. Well, for the first couple of months, for 2 months out, we were revisiting every other week. And the month before, we kept talking about it and visiting it. And when we schedule songs, it makes more sense to schedule them across several months than it does to schedule them for like week to week. Because then you can see the cohesiveness, and you can see like our song library and planning center has been shrinking drastically.
There was a question about how many songs do you have in your library.
That's funny.
I'd say we probably have maybe 25
regular. There's more on PCO, but we don't use most of them.
There's probably 20 or 25 songs that we play. Which, like, because, if you've watched any of our videos about music stands, you know that we don't use music stands in our church. None of our we don't have paid
volunteers.
We don't have paid bands either. They're all volunteers. Mm-hmm. None of them have music stands. They all memorize their music. Mm-hmm. But if you have 200 songs that you do, it's hard to do that. Delete! Call it hate speech.
Yep. Yes.
Report.
See you, son.
Bye-bye. Okay. Anyway. So, we apologize for the ridiculous comments.
We should probably just end this right now, just to.
But every time
it's getting too
you
crazy.
go live anymore, it happens.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
Well, essentially, there's about something I wanted to add that seemed pretty practical.
Do you recommend? Oh, here's a good question. Do you recommend doing? And I have a funny commentary on this. McKenna Bosch says, "Do you recommend doing a run through if you're involved in a smaller church?" Absolutely, yes.
Yes, you should always. You should always do. Why wouldn't you? I'd ask the question. Why would you think you don't need to?
Yeah.
And I would. I don't think there's a good enough reason
Even
to say.
if it feels really simple, just do it, because you're going to run into things where like, oh, well, how are we coming out of this song and into the next thing? Oh, what happens between? How do we know when we're supposed to come back on stage after the message? You gotta iron these things out. But here's the funny anecdote.
I'm listening.
So this happened. I'm gonna talk about Donald Trump. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Oh Lord.
So it was after.
It's not a good idea for many reasons. But go on.
Thank you, Keith. So Donald Trump held a cabinet meeting on gun control a couple weeks ago. And it was, if you followed the news, you would have seen this where Donald Trump, he basically said, you guys are all afraid of the NRA and you can't be afraid of them. Like, all you politicians are afraid of them and you can't. And he's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't wait for due process. And Mike Pence was over there like, of course we'll wait for due process. And Trump goes, no, I don't think we should. And Mike Pence was like, you could tell he's like, he didn't expect that. And I was talking to somebody about that and he goes, that's why you always do a run through before the service. So they should have figured out what he was going to say before
there you go.
he said it.
So someone doesn't look
you
like
got to have the meeting before the meeting.
So someone doesn't look like they have egg on their face.
Okay, I'm going to disclaim what I just said by saying we are in no way taking a stance anyway at all
on
about
anything.
Politics or gun control or anything. I was just using it as an example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're
not going to touch that.
Yeah. Hey, somebody asked a question that I thought was worth referencing. How long do you use at 25 songs? Doesn't it get old for the band? It ain't about the band anyways.
It does get old for the band, yes.
It does.
But it's not about them.
Every once in a while it happens, but honestly, it's all about vision casting. We cast vision for why we're doing the song constantly. Like, we just did Greater You Lord. We've done Greater You Lord lot. But it doesn't get old because we
played that song hundreds of times.
And we share with people on our team. We tell them that the reason why we're doing it is because we know our church loves it. The church, the people that attend your church, people attend church on average of like 2 Sundays a month. So I think actually the average is below 2.
Yeah.
So if they show up the week you do it, then the chances are they're only hearing it once a month.
Yeah.
So it's not about that. The band, if anything, the band getting tired of playing a song, then, I've heard the saying, don't practice till you get it right, practice till you can't get it wrong. So, like, when it comes to practicing, people are like, how long should I practice guitar or whatever? Don't practice till you get it right, practice till you can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
And so, when we do a weekend where we do like 4 solid songs that our band knows like, whoa, it actually encourages them. They walk out getting encouraged and feeling like, man, we really can do this. We can really lead our people strong because they just nailed it. And so it's your responsibility as a worship leader to cast a vision. If that kind of happens or people ask, hey, this is getting old. What about changing songs? Mm-hmm. But 25 songs isn't a lot. When you think about it, you could do 25 songs and for 5 weeks straight not repeat the same song.
Yeah.
Or 6 weeks even. You could stretch it to 6 and 7 weeks and not do the same song and only repeat one song once. So 25 regular songs, that's really not a lot. We do 4 songs a Sunday. You could get 7 and 8 weeks in and only repeat like a couple songs a couple times, if that. So
25, but that's a good number.
Yeah, it is. It is. And like it's big enough that there's variety, but it's small enough that it's not out of the question for your band to have it down pretty close to pat and just have to revisit each week.
I saw a comment the other day about the music on a music stand video, and they said it's not feasible to expect people to learn songs because we have 300 songs in our songbook.
The problem isn't the memorizing. The problem is the amount of songs.
And it's true. If you have 300 songs, like, gosh, you can't memorize that many songs, but. And different churches have different needs as far as and traditions as far as songs go. So I don't believe it's, I'm not going to sit here and say that you shouldn't have that many songs, but 300 is a lot.
That's like, how do you do 300
You could argue
songs?
that
there's only 52 Sundays a year.
You could argue that your congregation is never going to learn those songs and therefore never be able to engage in worship very much because they never know the songs. But Anyway, there is a video that Fuller and I made a Worship Leader Wednesday, this past Worship Leader Wednesday, where we talked about how many songs you do, how and when to add new songs, how and when to like stop doing songs. And Fuller went on a rant in the beginning of it.
Sounds like him.
And he talked about
I love you, Fuller.
He talked about how that it does not matter whether you are tired of the song or not.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion on the song, especially as a musician, doesn't matter. Now, if your opinion on it as far as the theological standpoint, what the song says, that's a different deal. But as far as like, if you're just tired of it, then there's been some great questions. One question was, what do you do during long instrumentals? Do you just let the instrumental go, or do you say something? That depends on the room, I think.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a moment of worship.
You have to really feel that out.
You feel it out. Yeah, there's no hard and fast answer for that. Like, you know, man, I'm tripping over my words here. You do a guitar solo and it automatically comes across as self-indulging or like, oh man, that's excessive. What about the stinking vocalist who's singing 70-85% of the song?
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, doesn't that kind of seem like it's like focus on them? And I know the words, but what I love about it is when I give one of my guitarists a guitar solo, he gets to perfect that. And he gets to offer that as his offering.
That's an offering, yep.
And get to be like, this is my skill set. Yep. And we ask him to stick close to the recording, more for reference so they know what to work towards. Mm-hmm. But we have guys that they've been respectful and they've earned trust, and like they don't go shredding and doing ridiculous. Like in the middle of Reckless Love, they do the riff. And like they don't go shredding and adding unnecessary tapping. But like they may mix it up a little bit to play that riff, or like Cornerstone, there's that cool little riff, the breakdown in between like the verse and the chorus there. I love it. But like it's their opportunity to worship in a different sense. So sometimes it fits. Sometimes it feels like you should just sit and wait. For me, sometimes it feels just as much of a spiritual experience to play a guitar solo as it does to lead a song vocally, because the reason I'm actually playing what I'm playing is because God instilled in me the ability to do that, and I want to give it back to Him. Why should I withhold my skills? I'm not going to do shredding and tapping and do insanely fast stuff like in the middle of Cornerstone, but like high upbeat number one opening song, why not?
Yeah.
Looks like the trolls have died down.
That deserves a movie score. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try and get it right this time. Oh, I'm going to keep going. I messed it up. Anyway.
It scoots around. It doesn't have a solid tonal center. So
that's true.
You can't just put it in the scale.
That's true.
Hey, Paul, if you reach out to me, follow WT Tones and reach out to us, and we can talk about lessons. It all depends on schedule and location, but it's doable. Sabbath, just stinking do it. Tell people it's important. And tell them that you need to rest and just do it. That's really.
About someone's
asking about how do you do it? How do you do that?
Oh, how do you keep a Sabbath?
Yeah, I think you just have to. There's no formula. Just do it. Just cancel everything and just like schedule it down and say, this is the day I do nothing. And that way, when you look at your phone or whatever, somebody asks, you dropped your plectrum. Here you go. If somebody asks, hey, are you available on April 12th? You can look on your phone and be like, nope, that's my. I'm busy that day. I have something scheduled. So you got to be intentional about it. Yeah. Brian was just playing the Star Wars Binary Sun
Jedi's theme for Star Wars.
Yes.
Chris Rains, not Kristen, looks like a Chris. Do you feel like a rotation with such a small bank of songs would work for smaller congregations? Is that what you're asking about, songs?
Or did you mean band?
A small band? Oh, probably band. A rotation. Yeah, I think you should always try and rotate.
Either way, yes.
You should give people time off.
You should try. I mean, it keeps it special. If you only have 4 instrumentalists.
And Chris, if you're the worship leader, you do a Sunday where it's just you. Give your people time off.
Yeah, and it makes it special for your people too. It's hard as a worship leader to sit back and be okay with an acoustic set every once in a while for me, because I love playing electric guitar. Yeah. I love full band. But the times we do an acoustic song in a set, or the times where we actually have to do a full acoustic set, our people love it. and they love the difference. It's more stripped back. It's more raw. It feels more organic. So
yeah. Man, this has gotten better because all the trolls are gone.
yes, I don't know how we did it. High five, Brian. If you drop a pick, we use pick. I have a pick clip on my stand.
Me
I
too.
just
You just
grab
grab
it.
another
Whoop.
one.
Yep. Easy peasy. Easy answer.
Yeah. Okay. That was two people asked that question almost exactly the same time.
Yes.
Do we use Sunday Sounds for anything?
We do not.
The company that makes patches for Mainstage?
Yeah.
We make all our own patches.
Everything we do, we make ourselves, except profile for the Kemper, because we trust our homies at Sailor Sounds and Tone Junkies for that.
Good.
So you should check them out if you're a Kemper guy.
Yeah.
Also, you should check out the Kemper P&W group on Facebook. There's lots of free stuff there if you're a Kemper guy.
Yeah.
So, or girl, if you're a Kemper lady. Yep. Everything we do, everything Brian uses on the Helix, he's made. We have experimented with some other guys' stuff.
Made together.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
We have purchased some other guys' stuff before, just because
for
the Helix. But I don't think we don't really use them.
I bought the
Marco, right? Is that his name?
Marco Fenton patch. I bought one of his patches, and I bought who's the Michael Britt. I bought the Michael Britt pack.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
just to see what they do.
When somebody knows tone, they know tone. It doesn't matter what platform they're on. But Marco introduced us to the IRs that we now love. The Live Ready Sound.
Marco, Live Ready Sound. He used those in his patch, and they're very good. Okay.
Man, we could keep going, but I think it's time.
We need to wrap it up. So,
sorry.
Guys, thank you so much. Guys and girls alike. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on YouTube. I'm excited to see how YouTube implements the chat, the live chat, after the video post. So we'll see that here in a bit. So if you're watching this after it went live, then leave some comments below.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Kind of help you follow along a little bit better.
We are going to try and do live a little more regularly. We've been saying that every single time we go live. But I had some serious issues with equipment that just stopped working.
Even this new thing he got was kind of giving problems. You're not even using... Oh, wait, you are.
I'm using it now. I don't know. It just magically stops and starts working. So I just need to go all in and buy the thing that I know that I need to make it happen, and then make a commitment to it.
Yes.
On a regular live
show. We have a plan. Well, Brian does, but I like to say we to alleviate some
Brad's
pressure.
a part of it. My plan includes you, Bradford.
Thank you.
I have a plan for you.
Okay.
I have a plan to prosper you, not to harm you. I have a plan to give you hope.
Man, this guy who's been
Jeremiah 29:11.
very kind to us now hates us.
What?
That's unfortunate.
Quentin?
Man, he was like being kind and engaging. I guess we didn't do something that he didn't like. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Sorry about it.
We love you too.
At the end of the day, you're not going to please everyone anyways.
No, you're not.
Look at these smiles. You're not taking our smiles.
It's a life lesson.
Brian taught me that. It's very hard to exist on YouTube and in social media if you let people's...
You got to have some thick skin.
Or just not pay attention to it, which is hard.
Or screenshot comments and respond to them without actually responding to them, but just send them to your friends.
Yeah, he does that all the time. He'll point me to a comment, and we laugh together. And we laugh. What's funny is when people insult us without proper punctuation. That makes us laugh. Yeah. Especially when they talk about how we messed up or something, and it's like, your grammar is atrocious.
Oh, the irony. Okay, anyway.
From Russia with love.
Hi,
now he said it's okay.
Hi, guys from Russia. Well, I assume they're from Russia, but it makes it sound like we're from Russia. Hi, you guys from Russia.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Hi, guys from... Okay, someone said hi from Russia. I get it. That's funny.
Hi.
Anyways.
Hello to you, too. Anyway, okay. We're going to sign off. You know what? I'm going to try and make this not an awkward transition.
Brian, everybody watch. Let us know how this transition goes.
Somebody doesn't skip arm day. They're talking about you, Bradford.
I do not.
What a powerful gift. Oh, they're talking about forgiveness. I thought they meant Bradford's biceps. What a powerful gift.
Well, there's also...
I used to be strong once, too, but I've since lost it all. But Bradford is strong. Okay.
Odor isn't everything.
What?
That's what my dad used to say.
This is ending on a real weird, awkward...
Strong odor. It's not strong odor. Odor isn't everything.
It's ending on a strange note. Forgiveness is a powerful gift. Yes.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Todd. I agree. It's true. All right. See you guys next time.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Alon's...